Dad, isn't it time for illegal ham in the face? But bro, where's the banjo?
Some Cleveland sports shows try to give you hot takes, but only one can give you a big old piece of hot ham. Welcome to Illegal Ham to the Face. Talking all Cleveland sports. And don't forget our Fat Boy Tuesday, where we also ham it up with some fun food topics. Without further ado, let's serve up some ham. Here are the Ham Boys, Fatty, and Big Bry.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome on into Illegal Ham to the Face as you're watching Game 2 of the Eastern Conference semifinals between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Indiana Pacers. And Bry, it is 9-6. Okay. We're going to keep updated. It's going to be an accelerated show tonight because Brian and I kind of want to get off here and watch the Cavs game. We're going to do our trivia, which is brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland. We're going to get into the Cavs matchup against the Pacers. We're going to talk a little bit of Browns. No Fat Boy Tuesday today. And then we'll do our top three. And everybody can have some fun later. And Justin said, yep, haha, LaFlop got bounced. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. All right, Brian, let's get into our show, bud. You got any shout outs this week?
With that?
What, with LaFlop getting bounced?
The only shout out I have, my one shout out is my niece celebrated her 4th birthday yesterday. So let me shout out Juliet June, affectionately known as JJ. Believe last weekend she went to Chuck E. Cheese out in Illinois to celebrate. So that's the only shout out I got. Happy birthday, JJ. 4th birthday. Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Chuck E. Cheese birthday? Hell yeah.
The good old days. I remember their piece is pretty good from what I remember.
Not gonna lie, it wasn't bad the last time we went. We took the boys to the one here in North Olmsted. It was pretty good. Only shout out for me is my little brother Philip. His birthday is today. Shout him out. And then other than that, Bri, just hey, shout out to Mother Nature for flooding us for 4 straight days. I might have to get a boat to get to work.
It felt like November today. 50 degrees, raining. We had another tornado warning here in Medina yesterday. It got probably within a mile, maybe a mile and a half of our house. No tornadoes, just funnel clouds. So, but thankfully, knock on wood, everything's intact in the city.
All right, Justin said shout out to Churchill Downs for putting on another Kentucky Derby. What a muddy mess that was, Bri. Holy cow.
Right.
I love seeing the jockey that's coming in like 10th and just covered in mud, just head to toe. That's my favorite part. I'm like, yeah, I know you've been in it, buddy.
Oh, they go through like 15 or 20 pairs of goggles. It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
All right, let's get our show started off like we always do with some trivia, which is brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland. We will play a sounder. It's my turn for trivia, Brian. I got a little college football, little NFL trivia for you tonight. I hope you like it. All right, here we go. Trivia brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland. And right there, first one in our comments on Twitter was Top Dog Tailgate, Bark in the Park, Mac Expo is the 31st, Saturday, May 31st from 1 to 7 p.m. at the WJ Green Lodge in Berea. $25 a person, music, food, drinks, raffles, and much more. A full-blown Browns tailgate with adoptable dogs. So please go there. James is here. Every horse in the field was.
What's up, James?
I did see that. That was a hell of a.
Yeah.
Every horse.
Yeah,
that was crazy, wasn't it?
I've never. Yeah, I can't even. My brain can't even fathom that. Wow. But I mean, it's a very tight knit community. So anybody
especially-
who's been a descendant of Secretariat, I'm sure, goes for big money.
Yeah, and especially how much his sub fees were back in the day, because it was quite a haul for that one. Our dog of the week this week, Bry, still got him up here. He's still there. Wyatt, look at that face. Somebody go adopt this dog from City Dogs Cleveland. God, I love this dog. I tried to talk my wife into adopting him. She said, nah. She goes, we got a cat, we got a dog. I'm like, but our dog needs a playmate. She goes, have you seen our dog? She snores all day. I'm like, touche, honey, touche. So please go help them out. And if you can, please adopt. If you cannot adopt, please volunteer, donate, do whatever you can to help out a city dog from City Dogs Cleveland. Now, Brian, I dug deep in the trenches for this one, okay? And I didn't even realize this. So the Cleveland Browns have had, and I believe I gotta count them again. Let me count them again just to make sure.
Okay.
Okay, I got it. Little 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, 11 Heisman Trophy winners play for the Cleveland Browns. Can you name them all?
All time?
All time.
All right. Well, I guarantee I can't name them all, but I'll hopefully get half.
I think you can get half.
Any idea how many since like 99?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold on.
5 since 99. Okay.
Well, hold on. 5-ish.
5-ish, maybe 6. Okay. That'll be good. I'll be happy with half then.
All right.
Cool.
All right. Let's kick it on. Man, this is a quick accelerated show. I love this, Brian. And here we go with the Cleveland headlines. First off, with your Cleveland headlines, Brian, the Cavs lost game 1 to the Indiana Pacers and was not looking good. Cavs did not shoot well. There was injuries all aboard. Indiana shot on fire. Right now, the score is 9-9. Correct.
Yep. Yep.
As of tonight, Bry, we need this game before we head to Indiana. We need this win. Bry, we are out without Garland. We were without Mobley. And we were without Hunter. So there's 3 of your big 6 that are out right now. And I hate to say it, a lot of naysayers are like, oh, Garland's not that good. But I think you need Garland in this series for as quick as he is and shooting wise and everything else, because showed you that Ty Jerome can still put up some points. But when was the last time you seen an 8-second violation coming to half court, Bry?
It's kind of rare, especially in a big situation when it happened on Sunday. Yeah, it was just a lot of head scratching things happened in that fourth quarter, unfortunately.
Oh, we got the Raw Dogs in here tonight. Is it Evo or is it Mike? That's the question. But yes, Darius missing is a huge problem. I think he gives another spark, and plus takes away some time from Donovan Mitchell, because Donovan Mitchell, even though he only played 34 minutes, he was gassed, Bry, at the end of that game. And they said that the pace, trying to keep up, but also the physicality. And Evan Mobley, what really sucked, started out that game hot and was pretty much doing whatever he wanted, and then just phased off. And it was like, okay, well, let's see here. He phased off, and then Mitchell couldn't hit a three-pointer. We couldn't hit any three-pointers down the stretch. And you still were within pretty much a gut shot. And then, the one turnover happened, and then that's when you text me, game over. And they were down 6 with like a minute and a half left. And I was like, yep, this game's over. Brian, what do they got to do tonight?
Well, I mean, you need Donovan Mitchell's going to show up. That's a given. And he could even go for 40 tonight. It's not out of the question. You need everyone else to step up. You need the other guys. What I've seen so far kind of reminds me of there goes Merrill hitting a three. That was nice. It reminds me of LeBron playing with the non-Kyrie team that he took to the finals at the end. Maybe the 2007. It's like we have one superstar, but we need these other guys to step up. And I mean, we just need guys to get aggressive and to go to the basket. And I think, unfortunately, from what I've seen and what I've seen a lot in the playoffs, when you're down a couple guys, I mean, we have Donovan Mitchell and we have Ty Jerome, who aren't afraid to be aggressive and take the ball to the hoop. Other than that, I don't know if we have a whole lot else of guys. We have a lot of role players, guys that'll spot up and take a three, but we don't really have anybody to attack the basket. So that's what maybe is my biggest concern is you need Donovan Mitchell to do everything. You need him to score. You need him to facilitate. I think Ty Jerome can take a little bit off his plate, but I don't see anybody else. I do like Max Strus. Seems to be fearless, and I remember this from him last year in the playoffs. He's a guy who's not afraid to take a shot, even if it's 5 feet behind the arc. And he's not an all-time great or anything like that, but he can hit those shots, and he can get hot and hit 3 threes in a quarter, and that could be what we need tonight. Tonight is all about winning this one game, and then we'll worry about going to Indiana, after we get the W. But it's concerning, but I don't think Indiana is this great team. I think we struggled in the first game, and I mean, I keep hearing about, and I was on him a little bit for game 1 of the Heat series. I keep hearing about Evan Mobley, and he's taken this next step, and it seems like whenever we really need him in games like Sunday night in the fourth quarter, he seems to disappear. You're telling me he had a great first quarter, great second quarter, maybe a great third quarter. Okay, that's awesome. But we need him. We need him to be a star in the fourth quarter, and it seems like he shrinks. And he's still young, so. But I wait. For me, when I see him take the next step is when he can take over a game in the playoffs in the fourth quarter, and we can go to him, and he can just go get us a bucket. And I have not seen that from him.
I think what it is, Bri, is I think at that point in time, Donovan Mitchell kind of took over and said, hey, my 3-point shot's not here. I'm going to drive. I'm going to get to the hoop. I'm going to get us some buckets and at least get us back into this game. And there wasn't a lot of real opportunity. Now, defensive-wise, Mobley was just everywhere trying to block everything.
This has nothing to do with his defense. His defense is great. I'm talking about offense. To me, right now, he's a Bam Adebayo. He's a Rudy Gobert. Great players, all-star players, really good defensive players, give you a little bit on offense. He needs to show me that he's more than a 16, 17 point a night guy, 8, 9 rebounds a night guy. He's not putting up these great stats, and he's not coming through when we need him the most. And a game in the middle of March or February against the Hawks is not going to impress me much. I need to see it in the playoffs when we're going against, one thing that maybe we took for granted is, and maybe the players did as well. I don't know. I can't speak to that, but as fans, I know we thought, oh yeah, at the very least, we're the second best team in the East. No question. A lot of fans think we're the best team in the East. Look at our regular season record. To me, I think this series proves we need to prove ourselves that we're the second best team in the East. We haven't proved that yet. Indiana made it to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They went further than we did. So we have to prove that we're the second best team in the East. And I don't think you can do that in the regular season. I think now's the time to do it in the playoffs. So it's put up or shut up time. And unfortunately, we're doing it with a less than 100% roster right now.
Yeah. And, kind of thank God for the depth that they do have, Bri, because if with 3 key guys out, if they didn't have the depth they had, Bri, it's almost like, let's just hone this game in. And because Donovan Mitchell can't do it all. And it was the Ty Jerome, Donovan Mitchell show on Sunday night. It really was. Like you said, Mobley sprinkled in there. There was some great stuff from Hunter, some great stuff from Allen. The dunk from Allen, that should have been a foul. The foul on Hunter, everybody said was a clean block, even though the guy pretty much drop kicked him in the chest and then elbowed him in the throat as he went up for the block. But I guess that's okay as long as you got ball at the top of it. I can do that too by holding on to somebody's shoulders and jumping over top of them. But I'm not. You can't even blame the officiating because they kind of kept it that way the entire game. It was a very physical game, Bri. And I think Sunday's game, Cleveland coming off of a week of not playing, all right, practice, all that stuff, and then just cruising through the Miami Heat, thinking that this is what this is going to be for them all the way to Boston. And guess what, Bri? You shouldn't even be scared because guess who else lost their first game? The Boston Celtics, after they were up by 24, 25 points. Oklahoma City.
Right. Well, you said it right there. Boston was up by 20-some points, and they got lazy, in my opinion.
Oklahoma City didn't.
The Cavs. Well, Denver's a championship team. Yeah, I think Denver's a really good team. But no, that really doesn't make me feel any better that Denver and Boston both lost. I still think. But I don't know about Oklahoma City because they haven't proven anything either. But Boston, I'd still bet the house that they're going to win the series.
All right, Cavs are up, 2013 now. Almost the end of the first quarter. Mitchell,
nice.
Shooting good?
Yep, correct.
Good.
He's at the free throw line now. I'd say he probably has at least 8. I'll give you an update here in a second.
Yeah, because I bet on Max Strus tonight, Brian. I bet on Max Strus. Big.
How many?
Well, no, it was
how many points?
Over 10 points. He's already got 5, and then over
nice.
Over 2.5 3-pointers, which he's already got 1.
When I need him.
That's
definitely.
what I got. Those are the people. It's going to be the Merrill. It's going to be the Dean Wade. It's going to be the Okoro. It's going to be the Max Strus on the outside, knocking down their shots for once, but also, Bri, not being afraid to take those shots. I've seen a lot of little hesitation the other day with them hesitating on their shot just a split second, and you can't do that with Indiana. Bri, Indiana is long. I mean, point guard 6'8", 6 Siakam 6'10". They got a lot of long arms on that, and I've seen a lot of threes get blocked on Sunday night.
Yeah, we're going deep in the bench now. I got a guy who I don't even recognize. Number 8. Do you know who number 8 is?
Number 8, is that Stevens?
I don't know. Who's Stevens who? What's his first name? I don't know. I didn't know we had a Stevens on the team.
Hold on. Hold on. Players. Let's see here.
But yeah, we're going to have to.
It might be Javonte Green, right?
We're gonna have to go deep into the bench. When you're losing 3 players that play a lot of minutes, you're just gonna need guys to step up, like you mentioned. We're gonna need 10 points. We're gonna need 15 points from a guy that we don't see it coming. A Dean Wade or a Sam Merrill to hit 5 threes, or Strus to go for 20. It's one of those games we're going to need somebody to step up. And for the life of me, Vegas was holding firm. I think the line closed at 5.5. The Cavs were favored by 5.5. So you almost at that point think, like, what do they know that we don't know? But Is Donovan Mitchell went down on a hard foul. Hopefully he's fine. He's gonna take a beating tonight. His body's gonna be sore. We're gonna need a superstar LeBron James type effort from him tonight, I think, and that's on top of other guys helping us out.
We might do so. They play tonight, then they play what, Thursday or Friday?
I believe Friday, Sunday.
Friday, Sunday. So, Bri, if you want to, maybe do a little Sunday before the game. Maybe do a little quick pregame show, just to get our thoughts on Game 3. Maybe we'll see, but
or just depends on the weekend schedule.
No, let me know. If not, we'll figure something out and we'll get back into it because it'll be Tuesday. Game 5 would be the Tuesday on the 13th. So hopefully they get this one pulled out. And Brian, we go there. I still say Cavs in 6. You still on the
possible?
You Cavs 6 or you Cavs in 7?
Boy, there's so much unknown. I'd have to say in 7 right now, just with the unknown, and I think that's what Kenny Atkinson is doing, and our training staff is doing right now. We're playing the long game. If this was a Game 7, I feel like at least 2 of the 3 guys probably would have been able to go tonight. But
I think Hunter would have been able to go tonight, and I would have pushed Garland to go tonight.
Yeah, that's a mystery. This Garland toe injury. I know it's a toe, so it sounds very small, but some people that have dealt with it say it really hampers your mobility. But at the same time, you got to figure a toe. I mean, doesn't affect his shot at all. He's probably, affects his side-to-side movement and his ability to take it to the rim maybe a little bit, but he's still a shooter. So I don't know. He could play great in Game 3. He could miss the entire series at this point. I don't think either one of those would shock me just because I didn't think he'd be missing this much time.
No. And like they did say on the newscast, like if this was a regular season, they would have put him in the boot and he would have been out for like 2 weeks until that thing healed. So the other thing is they, and it's nothing structured, Brian, but it's just the swelling, everything else. And Brian, it's your big toe. You and I worked for the longest time where, man, if you're on your feet and you have something not right, like your feet are all cut up or something, it hurts, man. And especially as hard as he moves and cuts to pivot off of that foot to get, any kind of leverage, man, you're going to be feeling that, Brian. I feel bad for him because it just sucks that the timing is now that this happened. You know what I mean? Like if it would have happened in, let's say, March, we wouldn't be that upset about it. But like right now, it's like, damn, we need you. We really need you. It shows that we need you because even as good as Jerome is and has been for this team, he's not Darius Garland. He's not as quick. Now, I call Jerome the old man moves, the Euro steps and everything else. He's the Ginobili is what he reminds me of. That's the only comparison I can think of is Mano. But just we really do need Garland. We need his quickness. We need him to get to the basket and create some stuff. And Bri, he's an underrated passer. He really is a good passer. All right, we're up double digits now.
Yeah, we are. Merrill just hit a 3, so I think it's time. They took a timeout, and that's what you're going to need. You're going to need guys like Merrill stepping his game up, scoring well above his average. But yeah, I think part of me thinks that Cavs aren't freaking out, which is a good thing. They're not freaking out after Game 1. They know, there's a chance we can still probably beat Indiana without Darius Garland. But we need Darius Garland at his peak A game to take down the Celtics. So I wonder if they're thinking that far into the future to where, they're not freaking out now. If we go down 0-2, maybe you got to start, especially going back to Indiana. Maybe you got to start thinking about pushing him before he's fully ready. But right now, like you said, we're up 13, and it could just be a defensive effort tonight. If you just make a emphasis to play defense, slow the game down, make them uncomfortable. That doesn't really take any offensive talent. If we can just really, because we're a good defensive team even without Mobley. Certainly he adds to it, but yeah, if we can, they only have 15 points, and there's only a minute left in the first quarter, so they're doing something right defensively.
Yep, we'll keep an eye on this. Now, Bri, we'll switch over into the Cleveland Browns. Bri, I got annihilated by people with my wonderful take on Nick Chubb last week of not believing he is going to be a Cleveland Brown. And Bri, it even got more solider because Jerome Ford took a pay cut to be on this roster. And if that's the case, Bri, it sucks. It really sucks. But I think this is the last time. Last year was the last time we see Nick Chubb in a Browns uniform. And it sucks. And I know there's some NFC North teams looking at him right now.
Everyone assumes the Bears.
Everybody assumes the Bears, but also get some other people involved. But Bri, I do not want him in a division. I do not want to see him in a Bengals uniform. I do not want to see him in a Steelers uniform, and I definitely do not want to see him with Derrick Henry in a Ravens uniform. Oh, hopefully that's not the case. But yeah, I mean, how do you feel about Ford kind of restructuring his contract, taking a pay cut? Because that really does kind of, not saying nail in the coffin, like there's a 10% chance, a 15% chance, there's still a chance. But man, it brought it down to a screeching halt real quickly.
Yeah, I've always wanted Nick Chubb to be a Cleveland Brown, but over the last week or two, I've I don't know if I've waffled. It's sad, the state of the Browns right now, because honestly, I don't want to see Nick Chubb go out with this terrible Browns team who's not trying to win.
Yeah.
I want to see Nick Chubb on the Browns at all costs. And I feel the same way kind of for Joel Bitonio as well. Like, I feel bad for these guys. Like, they're going to come back, they're going to give it their all, and they're going to play for a team that really doesn't care. We're on the 2-year plan. We're not on the 1-year plan. I think it's pretty apparent. Especially we'll see as the quarterback room unfolds, but they want to get these young kids a shot and see what they have. And so, part of me sympathizes with Nick Chubb. Like, man, just kind of like Joe Thomas, just go. Just it's almost like it's sad to say, putting your pet to sleep. You don't want to do it, but you just see they're in pain and you want to send them to a better place. And so,
That's a one.
I know Nick Chubb isn't as bad as he showed last year, and to me, a lot of that has to do with the offense that we had, and just Ken Dorsey being terrible. I don't believe Nick Chubb was as bad as he showed last year. Like, he'll be better physically this year than he was last year, but I think if he comes back, if we can give the ball to him and make him our guy, even if he's only getting 12, 13 carries, you're going to see the Nick Chubb of old. I firmly believe that in this offense, if we recommit to the run, give him the ball, he's going to be averaging 5 yards a carry again, and he's going to look like the Nick Chubb of old. But do the Browns really want to do that? That means we're probably winning more games. So you're constantly fighting with what's good for the now and what's good for the future. Good for the now is bringing Nick Chubb back and having him and giving him the ball 10 to 15 times a game. But is that good for the future? Probably not. And
The
so
only thing-
I'm at the point now where I've made my peace, I think. Let him go.
Yeah, the only thing that brought to my mind when you were talking about taking your pet out was Petey from Dumb and Dumber. Like, are we just going to duct tape Nick Chubb back together and just be like sell him to the blind kid? Here's a bird, pretty bird. I'm sorry,
He's I think he still has
bud.
2, maybe 3 really good years left in this if he goes to the right places. And maybe going to a team like the Bears that have a pretty good quarterback and have really invested in their offensive line, I think that'd be a good spot for him. But if Nick Chubb was 25 years old, I say heck no, bring him back. But if we might only have him for 1 year anyways, part of me is just like, just go do something great with a different team. The Browns aren't really caring about winning a whole lot. It would be so much fun to watch them. But at the end of the day, what's it for?
Mhm.
5-win team, a 6-win team. And if that's what makes him happy, then I want him back as a Brown. If he wants to be a Brown, I would 100%, 150% bring him back. But at the same time, like I said, with the Joe Thomas stuff, like, talk to him, be like, we want you back, but winning is not of the utmost priority right now. So we don't want you to, give your whole body to this organization and be disappointed at the end of the year if we only win 6 or 7 games.
Yeah, no, I agree. Bri, thoughts on Deontay Johnson? I'm not a fan because I think he's a head case. I really do. I think he's the worst head case. I think for this locker room, and as toxic as it has been the past handful of years, Bri, bringing in a Deontay Johnson was kind of a head scratcher for me because there's still some wide receivers out there that you could have brought in for, but man, really, I don't get it. I mean, do you like them signing Deontay Johnson, bud?
Well, I said last week, him being a Toledo guy, I can't really bag on him too much, but I view this as the Browns failing in the wide receiver locker room. And I think of beggars can't be choosers. There's nobody out there that Amari Cooper, I guess, maybe if you still believe he's the same guy that he was with Joe Flacco, and they can have sprinkle this fairy dust on each other and be great again. Keenan Allen, who seems to be hurt all the time. There's nobody out there. We've whiffed on free agency. We've whiffed in the draft, and it again goes back to my take on Nick Chubb, that how much are you really trying to win with this wide receiver room that you have? Deontay Johnson's a name. He's a guy who has experience, I guess. He has experience with Kenny Pickett, if that's the way we choose to go. Who knows what their relationship is, but yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's nothing that I really put too much thought into. It's just another guy, a guy who's probably slightly less productive as Elijah Moore was last year.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a guy, these below level wide receivers, they just change teams every year, every 2 years, and you just shuffle around. And I feel like that's what we're doing. We're just reshuffling the deck here.
Yeah, I mean, now that I look at it, Bri, they're only like DJ Shark, maybe Tyler Boyd, possibly. I mean, Christ, hey, you know who else is still on here? Anthony Schwartz. We can bring him back.
Yeah, I mean, these are all guys that have played NFL games. That's about the best thing that you can say about them. They were good at one point in their career, and they have NFL experience.
All right, Brian. Well, I want to close out the show so I can go watch the Cavs game. So let's get into our trivia real quick. okay, which is brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland. And Brian, I told you that there are 11 players that have won the Heisman Trophy that have played for the Cleveland Browns. And I wanted to know if you could name them all.
Okay, Johnny Manziel,
Check.
Baker Mayfield,
Check.
RG3.
Check.
Did Ty Detmer win it?
Check.
Okay. Did Jim Brown win it?
Negative.
Ernie Davis, did he win it?
He did. There's 5.
Okay, so I got 5. Let's see. It's pretty much
You're missing a.
Did
really recent
Vinny
one.
Testaverde win it?
6.
Okay, Vinny. Recent one. Oh gosh.
He was just on the Browns roster.
Did he play in any games?
Yes, he did.
Oh, he did. Gosh, last year is just a complete.
He
Oh,
started
Jameis. There we go.
There's 7.
Jameis. Okay.
You have one semi 90s, I would guess, and then the rest are older, bud.
Rashawn Salam. Did he ever play for the Browns?
Yes, he did.
Oh, okay. All right.
Nice.
And the rest are older?
Yes. So the last 3 are older.
Paul Warfield, Marion Motley, Art Schleister. Did he win?
I believe one is an Ohio State guy.
I said Art Schleister and Paul Brown.
No.
Or not Paul Brown. I meant Paul, who's the receiver?
Warfield?
Paul Warfield, yeah.
Nope, not him. Hold on, let me double check my. Yes, he was. He played for Ohio State. He was a running back for Ohio State.
Oh gosh.
Back when.
Urban Meyer.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you the last 3. All right. So the last 3, number 1, Charles White.
Never heard of him.
Okay. Howard Hopalong Cassidy.
Okay, I've heard of Hopalong. Didn't know he played for the Browns. Didn't know he won a Heisman.
And then the last one, Les Horvath.
Shout out to Les.
All right. So there is your trivia brought to you by City Dogs Cleveland. And then, Bri, we are ranking them. Start of the season. Who's your quarterback room? You ready?
So this is what we think will happen. Game 1.
And Brian left me. I know where he went to. He'll be back. We can hear you. We hear you all day. No, top 3, what we are going to think our quarterback room is going to be game 1. With the 4 quarterbacks here, because obviously you could carry 4 quarterbacks, but we don't think the Browns are going to do it. So I will go ahead and give my top 3 while Bri will be back here in a second. So my top 3, starting quarterback, probably week 1. I'm going to go with, and I hate to say this, I'm going to go with baby hands Kenny Pickett is the starter week 1. Bri is back now. Okay, there you go. So Bri, week 1, and the quarterback room week 1. So I said Kenny Pickett would be the starter. I believe the backup would be Joe Flacco. And I believe the third quarterback will be Dylan Gabriel.
So where does that leave Shador?
That's the good question. I don't know. I don't care. I'm just saying that's what I think is going to happen because they had Gabriel ranked second as on their quarterback board. So number one was Cam Ward. So they got their number one guy supposedly in Gabriel. And I think with them taking the pick there and Shador being a 5th round pick. Now, if Shador shows out, balls out, then I think Joe Flacco would be the odd man out because you would have to go young. But tell me what you think, bud. What would your top 3 be?
I got you.
Okay. Did you get all that?
I didn't hear what you said the last 2 minutes. No, I didn't hear anything. A word you said the last 2 minutes.
No,
It was
I said
spinning, buffering.
Oh, I'm sorry. So I said that I think that's Shador if he shows up and balls out. I think Joe Flacco would be the odd man out, and then they go young to see what they have to do for next year. But I do think that Kenny Pickett is going to be their guy day one as a starter, and unless Shador or one of the young kids kind of shows promise, Joe Flacco is going to be that second guy, and then they're going to have the third. Do you see it differently than I do?
Do you think they carry all 4 on the active roster week 1?
I don't think he can. I mean, it's not heard of.
So what do you think? What happens with the odd man out? Do they get the practice squad? Do they get traded? Do they get cut?
I think they would try to trade him or try to put him on the practice squad. But if he goes to the practice squad, I'm sure somebody else will try to get him. Yeah. If he goes to the practice squad, I'm sure somebody else will pick him up and sign him. But they still can protect. Isn't it like 4 people they can protect on their practice squad?
That I don't know. I'm not sure about the particulars there.
All right. Well, tell me your thoughts.
I think right now it's pretty straightforward. I think you have a longtime veteran, Flacco, and I think you have Kenny Pickett, and then I think Gabriel and Shador would be 4th. That's right now. For week 1, I think they probably look to move either Pickett or Flacco. And gosh, I don't know. I think eventually it's Pickett. I think it's Pickett that they move.
Really?
They're going to hold on to him. Yeah, they're going to hold on to him for a long time. Really, I said last week, the thing that makes the most sense is to move on from Flacco because he has no future. He's the here and now, and that's all he has. And he's going to provide a lot of excitement and a lot of juice for the fans. Sets on the field. But I think what's best for the future is if you really think Kenny Pickett has a chance at anything, you have to keep him and keep the young guys and, figure out what you have going into the 2026 draft. And right now, Flacco doesn't give you anything. So even though he's probably the best quarterback on the draft or on our team, I think he's the odd man out. But yeah, I don't see how you can put Gabriel or Shador on the practice squad. I think somebody will take them. And I think the Browns are just too stubborn to give up on Dylan Gabriel after everyone's been trashing them the last couple weeks.
Brian, they've been trashing them since 1999. They should be used to it by now.
Well, not Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski.
Like their picks haven't been the greatest.
Everyone's telling them how terrible this pick was and how they completely. And I saw a video of Dylan Gabriel, and it was taken like the night before the draft. And they said, "Where do you think you're going to go?" And he said, "Pick 94 to the Cleveland Browns." So the Browns told him, "Hey, you know, you're probably going to be there because nobody's going to be stupid enough to draft you high in the third round. You're going to be there for us at 94. We're going to take you with our second pick." And he was absolutely right. But that should set something off in their head that they knew that he was going to be there at 94. That's why they didn't even take him with their first pick in the third round. They said, "We're going to take you at 94." Because they were confident that nobody else would be stupid enough to take him in that first 93 picks. And so, that's just.
But us, we do it.
Hey, we know something. We know something the rest of the league does not know. We are just that much smarter than everybody else. Like, best case scenario, he's their new DTR. Best case scenario, he's a backup quarterback. And other teams are finding starters. Guys that are making it to second contracts in the third round. And we're getting a guy who we hope can be a backup. Like, they don't draft Dylan Gabriel in the third round hoping he can be your franchise quarterback. You draft him hoping he can be your backup.
I started laughing because if I don't know if it was Stefanski or Barry, but they're like, "Look at his production in college. He is the most productive quarterback in college." I'm like, yeah, so was Colt Brennan. Do you remember Colt Brennan, Bry? Like,
I do.
I mean,
remember
just
Colt
like
Brennan. I remember. Yeah.
Look at he went. Hold on. He went and played at UCF, then goes to Oklahoma and plays, and then goes to Oregon and plays. Yeah, any quarterback is going to do great at Oklahoma and Oregon. It's not that I don't you're going to be productive. It's not that hard being productive, throwing it 5 yards in front of your face.
And he's 24 years old. He's like as old as Justin Herbert is.
Well, at least he's not Brandon Weeden.
He's almost Brandon Weeden.
All right, so Brad said they have to make it through waivers to be put on the practice squad, and will not make it through the waivers. So
right. So every team has a chance to sign him to their active roster.
Yes.
And then I think he would get a choice to come back to the Browns practice squad. Like, he may get a chance. He may want to go to a different team's practice squad. I don't know how that works, but yeah, if anybody wants to make him their backup quarterback, they snatch him right up. He's no longer a Cleveland Brown, wasted draft pick. So I'm telling you, I think this has the Browns keeping 4 quarterbacks written all over it.
God,
like them not taking a stand, not making up their mind, being too stubborn to give up on Kenny Pickett or Dylan Gabriel. And I don't think either the ownership or PR or whatever you want to call it, I don't think anybody's gonna want to cut Shedeur Sanders. So to me, Flacco seems like the only guy who's the odd man out. Unless I won't could get a 5th round pick for Kenny Pickett. I wonder if they would do it. Because clearly they did not foresee having these 4 quarterbacks. They really wanted Gabriel. They really wanted Pickett. And then Shedeur fell to them. And then Joe Flacco kind of agreed to come back. So they're kind of maneuvering through the terrain right now with 4 quarterbacks, and I don't think they really know what they're doing. As somebody said, it was almost like the Browns' plan for quarterback this year. It was 4 different guys had their own plans, and then they all came together with their plans, and they did it separately because there's just no, what does Jimmy Haslam always talk about? What's the word that he uses?
Continuity.
Just how they're all in line with each other. Yeah. Maybe. Oh, yeah. And it seems like they're the furthest from that. Like Barry has his guy, and Haslam has his guy, and the offensive coordinator has his guy, and Stefanski has his guy, and it's just, yeah, it's a mess. That's what it is.
All right. Well, the Cleveland Cavs are up, 50-39 right now. Brian Max Strus hit everything that I needed them to hit. So I'll take that one. He's got
Nice.
4 threes. He's over that.
I know.
So-
Wow. Good for him. Merrill's
Yep.
got a couple. He has at least 2, maybe 3.
So everybody hop off here. Thank you for watching us tonight.
But
Go
far
watch
from
the
over.
Cavs game.
13-point lead.
Yep. It's not even halftime yet. So thank you for everybody watching. Please go like, subscribe. Also, podcast comes out probably here in about the next 20 minutes. I'll cut it, put it out on Spotify. Go find us at Ham Illegal on all of our socials and at Network 216. Brian, God bless them.
God bless you. God bless America. Strus hit another one. He's on fire.
Let's go. Let's go, Cavs. Cavalanche. All right. I am that fat guy. We want to thank our troops, first responders, for everything you guys do. We're definitely uncorked, unloaded. We're out. We will see you guys next Tuesday. See ya.